Hello and welcome inside the Midco Sports studio. I'm Darron Wallace, joined by my point guard, the Summit League's Kienan Dixon. And Kienan, we finally reached the summit, but only one team will remain come Tuesday night. Let's take a look at the men's bracket. A lot of intriguing matchups, but two teams stand alone with a bye in the first round. Kienan, let's start at the top with the league's top performer, Oral Roberts, led by one of the nation's top scorers, Max Asmus, and one of the nation's tallest players, Connor Vanover. They steamrolled through the Summit League with a perfect 18-0 record. That's just the second time in the league's 41-year history that a team has done that. And actually back-to-back years, we'll hit on that in a second, they're ranked 60th overall in the KenPom rankings with the 24th best offense in the country, averaging 84 points a game. They never quite cracked the AP Top 25, but their highest net ranking this season was 36th in the country. So it's not a done deal that they'll be able to dance even if they don't win the Summit League tournament.
On the other side, the boys from Brookings, the South Dakota State Jackrabbits, finished second this year. And you mentioned they were the other team to go undefeated in conference play. That happened last year when they went 18-0. South Dakota State has proven they could play with anybody, but come off of a tough loss to Oral Roberts at Frost. Zeke Mayo is a dangerous player when he is on, averaging 18 points per game and eclipsing 40 in a win over North Dakota State earlier this season. They're healthy with Charlie Easley back in the rotation and adding another scoring threat. This team is one to watch out for, especially because they'll be playing just an hour from Brookings. So some of that home court advantage for them as they play in this Summit League tournament.
All right, Keenan, now let's take a look at who those teams could potentially face in the quarterfinal round. We'll start with North Dakota and Denver, the 8 and 9 seeds in this year's tournament. 8-seeded Denver is led by junior guard Tommy Bruner and sophomore guard Tevin Smith. Bruner produced 506 points for the Pioneers. That was good for fourth in the Summit League this year. On the other side, though, BJ Omat leads a young 9th-seeded North Dakota team who's never played Denver in the Summit League tournament. UND won their previous matchup with the Pioneers in Grand Forks, so perhaps a bit of extra confidence heading into Friday's game. But I mean, this is a theme that we've said before. None of that matters in March, of course, but the winner gets a date with top-seeded ORU on Saturday.
It's a 7-seed Kansas City against Omaha, the 10-seed. Look, Kansas City is as athletic as anyone in the conference, and they can really get rolling with that Friday start against Omaha. They've lost 5 straight games, so they're coming in limping into this tournament, but they have Raquandis Mitchell who could really fill it up with 17 points per game. The key for them is can they put it all together in a tournament setting? They beat Omaha twice this season, including by 3 at the end of January. And Omaha, well, they have something to prove. They didn't like their low preseason ranking when they were listed as number 9 in the conference in the preseason polls. But they've fallen a spot shy of that in the regular season standings. Frankie Fiddler, he says he wants to be the best in the conference. This is his chance to do so after combining for just 22 points in the 2 games against Kansas City. For Frankie Fiddler, if he wants to show that he is one of the best players in the conference, there's no better setting than right now during March to make that happen.
Yeah, being the 10 seed, winning a tournament, leading that charge, that'll get you a place for not just best player in the Summit League, best player in the country we could be talking about.
Absolutely.
Now, the winner of this game gets the Jackrabbits on Saturday. One of the most electrifying players to watch in the Summit League, Keenan, I know you like watching him play. He plays on Sunday. Trenton Massner will lead the Fighting Leathernecks squad, Western Illinois, that finished 4th in the Summit this season. Massner averaged just under 20 points per game as the team's lone returning starter from last year. He finished top 5 this season in made threes per game and three-point percentage. The Leathernecks' opponent, 5th-seeded St. Thomas, they're making history as this is their first ever Summit League tournament appearance. They made the jump from Division III to Division I in 2021. They were led by one of the top freshman players in the league, Andrew Rohde, and intramural star turned Division I hoop starter, Parker Bjorklund. Whoever wins that game, though, they earn a seat in the semifinals on Monday.
And for this other game, look, number 3, North Dakota State. The name to watch is Grant Nelson. He's gotten all the hype this season. He's been in athletic articles. He's been on ESPN, on SportsCenter, every site you could think about. His dunks are thunderous. His play is special. Now is a chance to back up that play. Grant Nelson has the Bison coming in after winning 5 of their last 6, and all eyes are on him with that draft buzz. Scouts have been at games. Look, they lost to South Dakota in Vermillion earlier in February, and they have a chance to get a win over South Dakota in the first round of the Summit League tournament. And for South Dakota, they had a big win over Kansas City after losing 5 straight games. Cruz Hunt leads the scoring with 14 points per game, followed by Tassos Kamateros, who's the big man in the middle for the Coyotes team with 12 points per game. Look, they held Grant Nelson to 13 points the last time they played in that win. Can they do it again? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Keenan, postseason play, it's the best time of the year. Nothing beats March Madness. And like we said, ORU, for as good of a season as they had, they don't quite feel comfortable that they can make the March Madness tournament if they don't win the Summit League. So everybody's got something to play for. Going to be a lot of tight games, as you can imagine. Everybody's gunning for that one spot to go dancing. I'm excited to see it all in Sioux Falls. How about you, Keenan?
Yeah, I'm really excited. And the key here is to not look forward. Everyone wants to look forward and look at maybe, hey, if it goes 1-2, South Dakota State against Oral Roberts in South Dakota State's backyard, they might have the advantage in that. But don't look ahead, because there are so many talented players up and down this conference. 1 through 10, this has been such a tight race all throughout the season. There's nothing to look past.
It all ends on Tuesday, Championship Tuesday. That'll be broadcast on ESPN2 at 8 p.m. Central. Don't miss any of this. Sure to be exciting action here in Sioux Falls all this weekend.